Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Bell. It is Monday, March 11th, 2024. It is 60 seconds after the bell, which means it's time to go beyond the news, beyond the charts, beyond the bell. And that little catchphrase really signifies what this week is about here at Beyond the Bell and at the Blue Sky Trading Company, who, as always, sponsors this wonderful show. They have the clearest path to a live brokerage account in the business. We've got live trading with Mike every day in the Discord and this wonderful show. Everything you need, one-stop shop right here. Check us out at bluesky.pro. So, Beyond the Bell, it's cute. I like alliteration, right? My company, Teresius Trading, Beyond the Bell, Blue Sky Beyond the Bell. I don't know. There's a lot of things that work there. We can have fun with the phonetics and everything later. Yes, thank you, Tiana. If I could get some bells in the chat, as I always, they're shiny. I like them. Like to see them. Makes me feel appreciated. And we all need a little validation on a day-to-day basis, right? But anyway, it is truly a Beyond the Bell week. It is Trading Psych week here at the Blue Sky Trading Company. And before we go any further, we have to remind you of our flagship event going on this week. Literally world-renowned performance coach Jared Tendler will be joining me this Wednesday, March 13th, 12 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Blue Sky YouTube page. So where you are right now, make sure you subscribe to the page so you'll get notifications of reminders of every time we go live, but especially Wednesday at noon. And in the spirit of that, guys, so you guys know we normally end the week with giveaways here at Beyond the Bell. We are going to be giving away a bunch of stuff tomorrow. Okay, so we're going to do an eval giveaway. We may do some merch giveaways. I may do, for the first time, giveaway like a one-on-one. I don't know. We're going to talk about it, but I can guarantee you tomorrow at this time on this show, we will have giveaways, plenty. So, man, I'm so excited for this week. We got a lot going on. I have a special event also I'm speaking on Wednesday. I'll tell you guys about that tomorrow. But I highly, highly encourage you to check out our event on Wednesday. And so with that, guys, let's go ahead and talk about those markets here as we get to the big picture. All right, so the NQ, hardcore pullback on Friday. Now, we'll talk about this gap in a minute because it involves a contract switch. But in the meantime, let's just go ahead and look at today's market action. So we're back below here, the 18,300 level, right? Kind of this key area that's acted as resistance. And we'll talk about this gap and what it, kind of what it means and how the contract switch works and all that. But in just what we need to focus on right now is we have not been able to hold this 18,300 level, right? So we've moved back below it. So for me, as we move into tomorrow, assuming we do not hold, we don't make a run back up here in the overnight session, if we open up anywhere below, really below where we are now, right? And we have a couple of selling tails on these candles. If we open up below 250, 18,250, my anticipation is we go retest this 18,000 level. We just haven't been able to get momentum, guys, to get much higher here. Now, I want to talk about the contract switches, this little gap. So this, you can put a lot of different things on your charts, guys, and this is where futures are a little different from, say, like stocks. A stock exists, it continuously exists, it keeps going until the company goes bankrupt, sells, whatever the case may be. With futures, we have different contracts, and especially as we're trading the equities, which is mostly what we focus on this show, which is what a lot of the prop firms, including Blue Sky, they offer access to a wide variety of the equities contracts, in addition to a lot of other contracts. But those contracts work basically on 3-month cycles, right? So right now, currently, the front month contract, guys, or the contract that is closest to expiration, is what we call the H contract. I believe that's right. H for the H contract, and then we're going to move to the M contract is in June. Okay, now it's a little weird this month, right? Contracts expire on the third Friday of the expiration month. So in this case, the first of the month was on a Friday. So actually a week from this Friday, or excuse me, this coming Friday, the 15th, the contracts expire. Usually it's not this early in the month. In fact, it literally is as early in the month as it can happen. And with 31 days in March, it actually happens before the midway point of the month. So one way that's interesting, guys, to track these. So like some what they call the front month contract or the continuous contract, when you plug in like NQ1 apostrophe here on TradingView or just NQ on a lot of platforms, that's what they call the continuous contract. So various platforms can do this at various times. They'll what's called roll over to the next contract. Okay, and a fun way to track that, actually, guys, this is the CME's website. CME has a ton of really good information, guys. I encourage you to check that out. But right here on, so this is the ES. This was Friday, guys. They update this at the end of the day, right? So on Friday, here was the March contract, had 2.7 million traded. The June contract had 1.2 traded. These two will probably be close to equal today. And by tomorrow, and this is when I switch, guys, all my contracts that have not automatically rolled over on my charts, I will roll them over to the M contract starting tomorrow. Usually Tuesday of expiration week, which of course is tomorrow, is when a lot of these contracts start to roll over. Hold on, just adjusting my drawing. Okay, so that's basically what happened here. So again, we push up pretty strongly over this 18,300 level. In fact, we opened up here about 18,500, but we do have to keep those things into consideration. So basically what we've done is we've rejected this higher level and we move back down here. So we can't really regard this gap as anything other than a contract switch. We really can't ascribe a whole lot of meaning to it, especially since the gap was really just retraced on Friday. So again, let's take a look at the ES. You see similar in the ES here. We're right back at these levels that we were at. So yeah, that's an area to pay attention to. Now, the question just came in. Globex code and CME website was ESM4, not ESMH. You can trade. The only day you're really not gonna want to trade the contract is probably starting Thursday afternoon and into Friday. The issue today, of course, was the M and the H contracts had different prices. In some cases by quite a lot. So if you have multiple platforms, as I do, one of my platforms I have to manually roll over the contracts, the other I don't. So obviously, like last Thursday and Friday, some of the platforms started to switch. So you'll notice this, guys, and this is something beginners just kind of have to find out. Sometimes you can even be looking at a chart to make a trading decision on one platform and do as I do, enter your trades on another platform. You have to make sure those sync up. Again, this happens basically about every 3 months, so about 4 times a year. You've got to pay attention to this stuff. Usually, again, the contracts are usually March, June, September, and December, if I recall. And different commodities, different contracts have a variety of expiration months. So whatever you're trading, guys, just know. Again, most platforms make it a very seamless process with the front month contracts. And most of us here, either because we don't want to or because of prop firm rules, don't carry positions overnight. So it's not necessarily something you have to worry about. But guys, this is what we're doing to try to make money. You should honestly, like I said, CMEgroup.com has some great information. There's a lot of free education. They may not have strategies or they may not have trading psychology, but as far as the structure of contracts, when things roll over, volume information can always be helpful. You guys, these are contracts that in some cases are worth millions of dollars. You should at least know the characteristics of them. We can't, I had to explain the difference a few months ago to a gentleman what the difference between the ES and the NQ contracts are, what they are, and the guy, at least according to him, had been trading for 3 months. So he'd been trading instruments that he had no bleeping clue what they were. Honestly, that scares the crap out of me, guys, right? We don't trade. We're here to make money, but you have to know the characteristics. You have to understand what's going on with the contract switches. So yeah, so I want to direct your attention, guys, to the YouTube chat, and the chat repopulates in real time for those of you that watch this on demand. I know we have a ton of people that watch this show later in the day. I think on some days it's half our viewership, which, guys, that's incredible, and I thank you for that. All of us at Blue Sky thank you for that, because you're making us part of your day-to-day routine. And I'd like to think we give out a lot of good information on this show, besides the fact that we give giveaway tomorrow. But also, for those of you that pay attention later on in the day, watch this later on in the day, I really, really appreciate that. Go. There's no problems there trading the various contracts. I would just try to make sure you're manually switched over to the M contract probably by tomorrow. And again, you can check that out in your platforms. If you zoom out to a 4-hour chart like this and there's a gap, that means your platform has rolled you over to the next month, right, or to the next quarter. So you're on June contracts, and then this is something we don't have to worry about for about 3 months. Again, it only happens 4 times a year, so many people come into trading each and every month that we have to re-explain this every few months. But it's definitely a good thing to do. All right, guys. Sorry, let me. But before we go any further, guys, I do want to also invite you to a special event I'm doing on Wednesday morning. So this is the same day, not the same time. I can't be in 2 places at once. I'm doing a talk called "The 7 Most Important Rules of Day Trading," and I'm doing that for the Mad Hedge Fund Trader Summit. I'm going to put the link to sign up in the chat. Let me just copy and paste this real quick. Okay, you're welcome to sign up for that. I encourage you to check out all the speakers that are there. So yeah, Wednesday, guys. Wednesday's going to be a huge day. I'm doing that event in the morning. Come see that event in the morning. Shoot back over to the Blue Sky Discord and watch Mike trade until noon. And then at noon, shoot back over to the Blue Sky YouTube page and check out our event with Jared Tendler. It literally is, guys, an entire trading day of education. And then we got this show afterwards. So, you know, I love, seriously, guys, I love doing this, and I love helping you guys put in the work, and that's an opportunity to literally get 4 to 5 hours of trading education on a single day. That hasn't happened since I've been here. Hopefully we can swing something like that in the future, but it's not just for the time constraints. It's not something we can do very often, guys. So make sure you take advantage of that. Block off your whole day on Wednesday. If you've got PTO or you got sick days, I'm serious. Call in sick. Don't put your job in jeopardy, but call in sick and join us all day for some fantastic trading education. You know, I mean, not that I'm an immodest guy, but when you're talking Jared Tendler, myself, and Mike, there's three really good trading minds that you can spend all day asking questions to. So I highly encourage you to check out that on Wednesday. So yes, it's a webinar, completely free event, guys. None of what I just told you costs a dime. Okay, so it's all free events. Come and check it out. Now, I do want to get into, in the spirit of Trading Psych Week, I want to talk a little bit about our lesson of the day. So I could hit on, and we will with Mr. Tendler on Wednesday, hit on some of the classic tropes of trading psychology, right? We can talk about overtrading, okay? We can talk about, set this up here, bag holding. We could talk about fear of missing out. We can talk about fear of getting in a trade, fear of loss, all these types of greed and fear. Almost every major emotion and emotional mistake in trading, guys, has to do greed, fear. And especially when those two commingle, I don't know, it's Freed, Greer, whatever the case may be, but it's those two emotions are just completely and totally rule newer traders. And here's a quick hack for you guys. Let me, because I get this question all the time: how long does it take for those types of emotions to go away in your trading? And I'm going to be honest with you guys, they really don't. Right? You're going to read things, you're going to hear things about. You have to eliminate the emotions in trading, okay? And I understand what they mean by that, but I don't like the way that it's phrased, okay? What I would rephrase that simply as, you can't let your emotions drive your decision making, okay? Guys, I am no different than any of you when I'm watching a trade, and most of the times I don't watch a trade. I put in my, I get in a trade, I put my stop, I put my first profit target, and I'm not even looking at it until I hear my notification that a trade has been filled, and then I'll look, oh, it was my profit target. Let me, for my first half, let me adjust and put in my profit target for the second half, slide my stop up to break even or a little above break even, et cetera, et cetera. Or my stop loss was hit there, okay, next trade, on to the next one, right? But when I'm watching a trade or I'm seeing a trade out of the corner of my eye, I have the same fear as the thing goes down. I have the same anxiety as it goes up, right? Like, do I take profit here? Do I take profit? Well, how about I take a little profit here? But let's go. Oh no, it's going back down. Should I take a profit? You get into the old, for those 80s kids, if it doesn't say micro machines, it's not the real thing, right? And I go through all that as well. But what I do not do is let those emotions drive my decision making. The decisions are made without emotion, or at least I'd like to think they are most of the time, and most of the time I'm correct there. Okay, so Yeah, and thanks, James. I appreciate your agreement on that, and that's exactly right. It's just I just don't like the way that's worded. Again, I'm not going to attack anyone who says it because I know what they mean, right? And I'm 100% in agreement with that. I just wish we're human beings, we're emotional creatures, right? And that's the whole part of Trading Psych Week, guys. There is nothing more emotional to us than our money, right? And listen, this is not some big, greed, Gordon Gekko, greed is good, or the other side of it, money is bad, rich man, eye of a needle, whatever. None of that matters, right? Money, especially in today's highly inflationary, environment, money puts food on the table, put clothes on our back. It puts us under a roof. Right, for a lot of us, that can be day to day or month to month or week to week. I've been there, right, and that was part of what spurred me to a change of career into the trading business. But it is extremely emotional, and you have to embrace that and understand it. Okay, and there's so few things that drive us emotionally, like our ability, whether you're a things person, maybe you want to buy a really, really nice car, or a really nice house, or you're like me, you're an experienced person, you like traveling, you like taking 2, 3, 4 week vacations to various places, eating great food. I go to Chicago quite a bit just for some of the restaurants, some of the best food in the world right there. That's whatever the case may be. But here's the situation, guys. So again, we'll get in with Mr. Tendler on Wednesday. We'll talk about some of the key mental trading errors. I've done webinars for Blue Sky on those in the past. We'll talk about those in the future. But the thing is, guys, you have to be willing to put in the work, okay? And this is actually a trading psychology issue, okay? We're not Vulcans. I got, live long and prosper, right? Sorry, I'm a bit of a Trekkie, so I'm definitely with you there, James. But it is a trading psychology issue because so many people come into this business. And guys, let me tell you, if you're one of these, two things. First of all, you're pretty much like everybody else when they got in this business, myself included. And number two, in a lot of ways, it's really not your fault, right? You search one trading thing online, right? And every single ad you see is fed to you about traders, this and that, and guys, often the loudest voices in this business are the ones with the fewest to say. Not always, right? But you'll be bombarded with ads for the 10-minute I have, I'm on all the email lists you guys are on. I have a dummy email address, so I've subscribed to everything because I like to see what people say. One of my favorite ones, the 12-minute trading day. Right, and this moron sends something out every day about how much money he or she. I don't know. I never really read them because I'm not in the same market or looking for the same clients as people like that are. Anyone that wants to click on that email, I don't have time to deal with those people, right? But the how I made this much with one trade. There's somebody in this business, guys, and very good trader. Very smart individual. I've personally met this person, although I'm not going to give you a name, but he's been bragging about the same, I want to say it was like a $2.5 million options trade. He's been bragging about this same trade for 9 years. Okay. Well, first of all, it tells me A, you haven't made a bigger one since then. And B, even if that was a shot in the dark, even if you make $500,000 a year, you should have made way more than that. So the fact that you're still talking about it almost a decade later tells me it's just nothing better's come along, right? So I'm not naming any names here, but yeah. And so bringing this all back in, I want to just tell you a little bit about, I'm going to give you in 2 minutes here, about a system that I have developed over the last year and a half. It was a system, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm not walking through it right now, but about a year and a half ago, it was October of 22, I had an idea. I just said, this particular pattern, I wonder if there's something to it. Okay, spent about 3 months just, doing some visual back testing on the pattern, right? Looking, just, hey, and at the end of the day, just saying, this pattern occurred 5 times today. Twice it would have been profitable, 3 times it wouldn't have been, et cetera, et cetera. Then I went and started looking at rules. Okay, where do I need to be for stop losses, profit targets, et cetera, et cetera. What instruments does this pattern particularly work in? Because honestly, I found it only really works pretty well with the settings that I have in the NQ. Then I began paper trading it. Then I, adjusted and tweaked the rules. 6 months after I first noticed the pattern, I started live trading it. Literally the first trade I made was a single micro. Built that up over last summer into the fall to the point where it's now my most popular trade. It's probably 60% of my trades right now. Okay. But as I've reviewed my journal, somebody brought up our journal review, and I'm sorry, guys, it slipped my mind. We will do it this week, probably Thursday, just because we got so much trading psych leading up to that. But about 2 weeks ago, I started looking at the journal a little bit and pulling up some journals from last year, and I said, this is a very profitable setup. It's my most profitable setup, has been for the last year, whether on paper or then in real money. Is there a way to maximize the profit a little more? So I've been toying this week specifically with rules and putting, specific exit rules. Typically, I've had looser exit rules, and it's usually an ATR for the exit or ATR and a half for first profit target, et cetera, et cetera. But I've noticing that there were some certain amount of times where maybe my profit target wasn't hit, but then it reversed completely to the stop loss. So I'm actually playing around with and something I very rarely do, which is automatic trailing stop, and then certain little tranches of profit taking on the way up. Okay. And so now for the past 2 weeks and probably through next week, I'm taking all of those, in addition to whatever trades I take live, I'm also taking them on paper with these very specific exit rules set up. And they're programmed right in. Literally, all I have to do is get into the trade, and everything is set automatically. Okay, if you don't know how to do things like that in your dome, guys, whatever trading platform you use, I highly encourage you to learn it. Right, bracket orders, OCO orders, stop limit, stop mark, whatever the case may be. So I'm starting to see some promising returns in how this manages loss, right? Because there's two ways to take a profitable trading system and make it even more profitable, right? We always think about the profit side of things, where we always think, okay, I made 30 trades on this, 17 were profitable. The average profit is $800 per trade. The average loss is $700 per trade, right? And we always think, well, how do we take these $800 average winners and make them $1,000 average winners? And that's fine. And that's a question to ask. But the other question is, how do I make these losers a little less, right? There's an exercise I encourage all my clients to do. At the end of the week, okay, especially if you're somebody who does less than 10 trades per day, which is what I recommend newer traders start off in, really closer to 3 to 5. But at the end of the week, stack all your trades up by profit to loss, okay? And how many, like if you were to organize them based on absolute value, 1 to 10, how many of the winners would be at top or in the top 10, right? If biggest absolute value are your trades, 7 of the 10 are losers, you're letting losers eat 2 or 3 are your winners, right? So some people sit there and say, well, this system sucks. It doesn't work. I'm getting rid of it. Well, not so fast. Is there a way to reduce your losers? And guys, this all plays into trading psychology, right? Because it's about doing the work. Okay, it's the mindset that we sit down every day and every week. Guys, I promise you this, okay? And if somebody wants to spar with me on this, I will be happy to spar with them on this. I've yet to meet a trader in my career that is simply somebody who shows up, trades for 2 or 3 hours a day, and then stops and does nothing outside of that. Now, I'm not saying we can't get to that level. If I didn't do this show, if I didn't do coaching and some of the things that I do, I'd probably work about 4 hours a day, do my journaling for about 30 to 45 minutes a night, and that'd be fine. I enjoy working with people. I enjoy bringing people to the level that I've been at. I enjoy having conversations like I do sometimes with the Blue Sky team here about trading and trading education, right? This is what I do. We talk about that hierarchy of needs, right? We have certain social needs, and this is how I fulfill some of those within my business environment, okay? But somebody who just starts trading tomorrow and trades for 2 hours a day, and that's it, and doesn't do any of the outside work, doesn't journal, doesn't learn, it's going to be really hard for that individual to be profitable. And if they become profitable, it's going to take them several years to get there, okay? What you need to do is put in the work. If you can only trade 2 hours a day, that's great. You need to spend at least an hour a day outside of that time journaling, watching webinars, coming to events like on Wednesday with Mr. Tendler, watching shows like this. Now, I understand, guys, YouTube, if you found this show just through YouTube, congratulations. You hit on some quality content here where I'm not throwing up real or fake $1 million winners and then asking you to buy a $2,500 course or subscribe to a $300 a month, whatever, right? And that's not to say all those things are bad, right? All those tools are good or bad or whatever the case may be, okay? But there's just so much garbage out there that it can be very hard to sift through. We talked about this on last week's show. So part of trading psychology is having yourself mentally prepared each and every day, each and every week to do the work in your trading. Now that means different things for different people. I have worked with people that it took them 3 to 4 years to become consistently profitable in trading. I've worked with people it's taken as few as 8 or 9 months. But that was the outlier, guys. If you're 3 months into your trading journey and you're pissed you're not profitable, I don't know what to tell you. You gotta put in the work. It takes a very unique brand of stubbornness. Okay. You see, this is one thing I've noticed amongst traders, because almost all of us struggle when we first start. You have to be stubborn enough not to quit trading altogether. Okay. But you got to be stubborn enough to push through a lot of the garbage and want to keep going. Right? Stubborn enough to keep working towards your goal, okay, but not stubborn enough that you just keep going without changing anything, if that makes sense, right? You guys have heard me say on the show quite a few times, if you failed 1 or 2 evals, okay, congratulations, you're a trader, right? Almost all of us are going to struggle the first time, as I like to call trading with consequences, right? So when you're paper trading, there's not a whole lot of consequences to it. It's monopoly money. But if you start a blue sky eval today, and you make your first trade tomorrow, that's not real money because you're in the eval stage. You're not yet to blue live. You're not yet to brokerage, okay? But you're still trading with consequences, right? Blowing out that account, that eval has consequences. You either have to pay money to reset or wait for the next monthly fee, but that's money that you've paid that now, in theory, is gone, right? Even if you got it on a sale, right? You're talking $100 or more, all right? So there's still consequences to poor trading, okay? So you have to be stubborn enough to keep going, but not so stubborn that you don't want to change things, okay? Because I always ask somebody that just failed eval number 30, that's great. What are you going to do different on number 31? Well, no, my system works. No, BS. Your system doesn't work. If you failed 30 of evals, your system doesn't work. Well, I just need the market to... No, I don't know what else to say at that point. So again, I want to make sure I phrase this properly. Stubborn enough not to quit, but not so stubborn that you're not going to change, what you need to do. I had to sit myself down about 6 months into my career, guys, and say, Matt, you're doing nothing but losing money. And this was real money, okay? It's time. I thought about quitting. I almost did. I came this close, okay? But I pushed through that, went back. At 6 months, I basically reset my entire career. And that was about a year of learning before I started the 6 months of actual trading. And I said, you know what? Pretend when you wake up tomorrow, I told myself this on a Thursday, when you wake up tomorrow, you know nothing about the markets, you know nothing about trading, you're starting completely from scratch. Yes, I reread a lot of things that I'd read 2 or 3 times before, but at this point, I was now, a beginning trader again, and I pushed and fought through a lot of that kind of stuff and went for that. Okay, let me catch up on the chat here. Can you tell us when to play those winners with you? So, Dragon, let me talk a little bit about. First of all, again, in this Discord, you have Mike live trading every day. He's an exceptional trader. Get in there. If it's your first day in there, don't try to follow along with anything. Just ask questions. Just watch and ask questions. Okay, but here's the thing, guys. I am a firm believer. Honestly, guys, I could probably go out there, run a $300 a month room, do all this kind of stuff, and everybody, oh, that's great. And I've done live trading like options rooms and stuff before from the swing trading perspective. There's 2 reasons I don't want to do that anymore. The first one is it doesn't really allow me to take a lot of time off, and I like taking vacations in the summer, right? Because you get into a situation where somebody's paying to be with you and you tell them you're going to be gone for 2 weeks. You can either try to trade on the road, which is very, very difficult to do because you never know where, especially if you're traveling, actually driving or something like that. Is my hotel tomorrow going to have Wi-Fi? Whatever. I had a buddy who tried to do a live room from his RV on the road. He just lived in an RV, traveled. Now it was about $1 million RV, but he drove all over the country. He tried to do, he just couldn't do it because day to day he didn't know how reliable his connection would be. Whether he'd be in convention center parking lots trying to hack into their Wi-Fi, right? And the second part is, guys, then I'm not teaching you. I'm teaching you just to follow. And guys, there's such a high burnout rate in people that run those rooms. Even the guys that are 1,000% legit and make thousands every day. Honestly, I know this sounds corny. I know this sounds self-serving, but I am firmly in the camp. I want to teach you how to fish. I don't want to give you a fish, right? Sure, occasionally I'll do some live trading for a group or something like that, but that's not, every time I do that in day trading, I just end up like analyzing the markets and talking about potential scenarios because I think that's more valuable than just handing you trades, right? So, I get it, Dragon. You're about to remove the apps or appointments from your phone. Honestly, stick with it, man. Like, what did I just say? You need to be stubborn enough not to quit, but not so stubborn that you're not willing to listen, take good advice, and change what you need to do, okay? Honestly, I have learned very profitable trading systems that just don't work very well for me. I just don't spot the patterns as well. They don't speak to me, as I like to say. And then I've come up with plays that some people will say, oh, this is great. This has been career changing. And some say, I just don't have the ability to spot those. There's no magic plays out there, guys. Now, am I discouraging? I sell strategy courses, so am I going to discourage you from going out and buying a strategy course or watching a webinar? No, of course not. Okay, but you got to go into every one of those and not say this is going to be the one pattern that makes me a millionaire, because you're not going to find that. But go in and say, you know what? I'm going to learn this, and either one of two things is going to happen. Either A, it's gonna help me become profitable and help me, learn rules-based trades, etc. Or number two, I'm gonna learn that this isn't for me, but I'm gonna maybe learn a new pattern or learn a new candlestick or learn this or learn that. Guys, you have to go into every educational encounter, and Wednesday is very, very much the same way. And just look forward to learning. Okay, I can't promise you anything that's said on Wednesday is going to help you become profitable right away. I can almost guarantee it, though. If you come in with an open mind and open ears, you're going to learn something very, very important. So again, guys, before we wrap up for the day, I do just want to, just a second. I do want to re-emphasize our event on Wednesday. I'm also, one more time, going to put the link. It's stickied at the top there, guys. Top of the chat, it's stickied, and I'll put it out tomorrow as well. So, guys, again, a full day of education on Wednesday. I've got a live free event starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. As soon as that's done, you shoot right over to the Discord, get in the chat with Mike, ask Mike questions, and then at noon, shoot right back over to this YouTube page right here for our special event with Jared Tennell, and then come back for the show, guys. I am not going to have a voice by 5 o'clock. On Wednesday. I can almost guarantee it. So, guys, thank you for watching another edition of Beyond the Bell. I'm almost losing my voice right now. I better not talk tomorrow, which I'm not physically capable of. I have family, and my girlfriend are references that's very hard for me. All right, so have a great rest of your day, guys. Everyone get excited for Wednesday, because I am. And tomorrow on this show, we are giving away, I don't know what we're giving away, but we're giving away a lot of crap. Or at least good stuff. I don't mean, we're going to give away evals. I'll give away a one-on-one. I'll tell you that right now. Maybe there's some merch involved. Maybe we'll give away a 5-minute phone call with Josh, where he just calls you up and he just says, darn it, you're good enough, you're smart enough, and people like you. Not really. I don't think Josh has that kind of time, but he's about to send me something nasty at Discord, I can tell. So everyone have a great rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of Beyond the Bell. Come back for Giveaway Tuesday tomorrow, and I will see you in the markets in the Discord tomorrow morning. Good night.